What is there a particular project you've worked on over the course of your career that you're like, that was freaking amazing, or you just loved it so much?
Here, I'll tie this up in a bow, and it will sound very old school, but coming back to don't tell me we can't do something. So we were doing work for the Harrisburg Patriot News. They were rebranding the newspaper. So this probably was, I don't know, 20 years ago, but we were responsible for helping them rebrand their newspaper and the culture really. So we went in, we interviewed all of their employees. We went in 3 different shifts, learned everything there was to learn about the paper, and we came up with this campaign. And one of the things that they were doing, they were launching a tabloid called Go, which was going to be published every Thursday. And it was everything that was happening. So it's like, here are your movie listings, theater, what's happening in the community, cultural events, all these things, Go. And so we did this teaser campaign with green footprints, like on all of the teaser things, billboards and all that sort of thing. And we came up with the idea of painting green footprints on the sidewalks of Harrisburg for the first day that Go was going to be launched. And at the time, he was not my husband. He is now. But he went and he sold this idea to the client and came back and said, oh, by the way, they loved the idea that I had about these footprints. You're going to have to figure out how to do it. And I was like, okay, a little heads up would have been good, but okay. And so literally just started that problem solving, how are we going to do it? When are we going to do it? It has to be done. And so came up with the plan, we're going to be out there at 3:00 in the morning. I need stencils. We created these 10-foot stencils. We had teams of 2 out with the rollers and these stencils. My biggest challenge was the paint because Crayola made the paint, but the paint came in like these tiny little tubes that you bought at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or whatever. And I was like, I need gallons of this stuff. So reached out to Crayola, created a relationship with them, and they were sending it to me in 5-gallon buckets. And we painted footprints on like 3 miles of sidewalks in downtown Harrisburg, figured out all the permits, all the legal, put out a note to all of the businesses to say, hey, we're doing this. A couple businesses came back and said, please don't paint on my sidewalk. We respected that. So, I mean, it was all those details. And then the thing that amazes me, because I don't think I could do this now, is we had 20 people, clients included. Clients showed up. We had 20 or 25 people who showed up at 3 a.m. to do this.
Paint.
We had support vehicles driving around with water and more paint. I mean, I look back on it and first of all, I can't believe we ever did it. Secondly, it was fun. At the end of it, it was done. Then we started leaking these reports to the radio station saying, what are these footprints about? Does anyone know what's going on? And then the big payoff was it was across the masthead of the paper. But I mean, just as an experience, maybe not, it wasn't the most profitable thing we ever did, or it wasn't the biggest splash or whatever, but like as the experience of bringing a team together, doing the work, having it pay off, happy client, and we all went out for breakfast and then we went to work like that. Then we started our day. I don't know. When I think about that memory, it just makes me happy, obviously.
Yeah, I can tell. You are Amy Beamer. Murray is beaming.
It was just a really cool thing to have done.
Yeah, that sounds fun. And you can
Yeah.
imagine everybody just kind of laughing and having a good time. Like we're
Mhm.
out here painting footprints. And like you said, that there was a payoff. And I don't mean financially. I mean the happy client, the coming together of this campaign, and that it was truly a team effort. That's the great stuff of companies and
Yep.
businesses. I love that. Thanks for sharing that story.
Yeah.
Where can people go to learn more about?
Pavonegroup.com is probably the easiest place to look.
And if someone wants to reach out to you directly, how can they do that?
abeamer@pavone.net is probably the easiest way to get in touch with me.
And I'll have all that in the show notes. Thank you so much for letting us go behind the curtain with you a little bit today, Amy. I really appreciate it. You're a gem.
Thank you. You are too. This was
Thank
fun.
you. Thanks so much. Thanks for joining us on today's episode of Leadership Backstage. Let's see, do I know the name of the show? Yeah. Okay. Until the next time, thank you.